Hello and welcome to the Football Parliament podcast, your one stop destination for your football debates, opinions, and discussions. It is time for match day two in the Premier League, and today we're going to be discussing all the matches, a quick review, our predictions, and helping me through them is Hakam and Adit. So, welcome Hakam and a comeback video for Adit.
Yeah.
I am a Manchester United fan. Palash is a Chelsea fan, as you all know, and our friend Adit here, he supports the Premier League. Yes, you heard that right. He supports the whole damn league.
That's not actually true. Adit does
Have
support a
revealed
club,
this
but
earlier.
which club? Which club? Even we are, as his best friends, are unknown to that. So Adit has promised us to reveal the club that he does support once we hit 500 subs. So what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button so that Adit does reveal his club that he
And
supports.
comment down below your predictions.
Anyway, let's get started with the video. We are going to be discussing the matches. Let's start with the most featured one. It is the London Derby, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Two teams with contrasting fortunes coming into the match. Chelsea with a very impressive 3-0 victory in the first match day, contrasting to Arsenal's 2-0 defeat to Brentford. How come last season we saw Chelsea defeated twice by Arsenal? Do you see a similar thing happening this season as well?
I absolutely do not see a similar thing to last season happening this season because Arsenal is a relegation side, and I don't see them beating the potential champions. After the addition of Romelu Lukaku, there's no way Arsenal are beating Chelsea. Please, let's just not even discuss it. There's no chance.
What
I
about
might
you?
have,
Yeah,
I
what are
might
your
have
predictions?
I actually can see Arsenal winning against Chelsea because they tend to get a very cheeky goal. Then last season
Yeah,
we
that's a
saw
good point.
the mistake by Jorginho. So I can see Arsenal winning against Chelsea, and then they'll play again like they used to play last season, and potentially this season also against Brentford. So,
I think it highly depends on will Romelu Lukaku start because Tuchel did confirm that he will be involved, but will he be involved from the starting 11 or from the bench? We are yet to see. Even if you saw the second match against Arsenal last season, Arsenal, as Adit said, did get a very cheeky goal, very soft goal, and then completely parked the bus, all the 11 men behind the ball, and Chelsea were totally unable to break the Arsenal team down. A lack of a clinical finisher is something that Chelsea are dealing with and might have to deal with in this match as well if Lukaku doesn't feature from minute one. But let's just get to the predictions. I still am optimistic about this match because of the way we've been playing. I'm gonna go for a good 2-0 victory for Chelsea. Adit, what is your prediction?
I think Arsenal will win this match against Chelsea 1-0. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0.
How come? What about you?
A 3-1 win for Chelsea.
3-1 win for Chelsea. You've heard the predictions. Make sure to drop your predictions for Arsenal versus Chelsea, and we will make sure to shout out every correct predictor in our next video. Moving on to arguably the most impressive club of match week one, it is Manchester United, who go head to head against Southampton. How come, as a Manchester United fan, what are your feelings before the game?
Um, it's gonna be a win for us for sure. We beat them 9-0 last time. No one will ever forget that. And yeah, Southampton have lost their talisman Danny Ings, but they've got a new striker in Adam Armstrong, I think his name is, and he scored on the first match day. And he's a great striker, and they have a decent team. They're not gonna beat us. I don't think so. United win for me.
Adit, how do you see this match?
Same, I think United will easily breeze over Southampton as they have lost their main finisher, Dannings, also their defender Vestergaard to Leicester City. And as you remember last season, the defeat of Southampton, I think Manchester United are again going to score 4 or 5 plus goals.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Since the turn of the year, that is, since the start of 2021, no Premier League team has collected lesser points than Southampton. So they ended last season very, very poorly. It was just because of how they played in the first half that they survived relegation. And again, on the first match day, they were handed a 3-1 defeat by Everton. So yes, this looks like a more straightforward match. How come many new signings for Manchester United? Do you see some of them featuring against Southampton?
I don't see any of them starting, but I do see Jadon Sancho making another cameo off the bench. And he was involved in a goal in the behind closed doors friendly against Burnley uh, a few days ago, and he got an assist. But I still don't see him starting. It's too early for him to start. He's just been training
Yeah,
1 or 2 weeks with the team, so he's gonna take, I think, another 1 or 2 match days to fit in and start. But yeah, none of the new signings is featuring, I think.
yeah. Very quick score predictions for you.
Um, my score predictions will be 4-4 to Manchester United.
Other score predictions.
I think 4-0 Manchester United. 4-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a 3-0 to Manchester United. I think all of us quite agree that Manchester United will come on top in this game. Moving to their city rivals, it is Manchester City, who very surprisingly did not have the best start to the season with a very shocking defeat against Nuno Espirito Santos Tottenham Hotspur. But I think they've just got the perfect fixture to bounce back from that defeat because they go against newly promoted team, you could say relegation favorites Norwich, also lost in their first match against Liverpool. How do you see Manchester City doing in this one?
I think it's a cakewalk for Manchester City, but we should never underestimate Norwich City because, as we remember 2 seasons ago, Timo Pukki, he loves to score against Manchester City. And I could see a draw, but I don't think Norwich will get any more than 1 point from this game. But I still feel that Manchester City will walk away with the win.
Agree. Do you see a potential upset on the cards?
No, I see a easy Manchester City win for them. And since they have lost, Norwich have lost the main man Buendia. So I don't think there are going to be plenty of goals for Norwich, but I can see an easy win for Manchester City.
That makes your score predictions.
I think Manchester City 2, Norwich 0.
How come? What about you?
I'd go with Manchester City 2, Norwich 1.
All right, I'm gonna go for Manchester City 3 and Norwich 0. Moving on to the next match, let me just have a look. Let's just cover the big 6 matches first. Liverpool against Burnley, another very fairly straightforward looking match. It's Liverpool at Anfield against Burnley. Liverpool very impressive on the first day. Good and impressive win against Norwich. Not so for Burnley, who lost against Brighton. Another very straightforward match for you all, or do you all see Burnley doing what they so often do in a potential upset against a Big Six team?
Especially against United.
So yeah, let's get straight to the score predictions. How come your score prediction?
Liverpool 2, Burnley 0.
Adit, your score predictions.
Liverpool 3, Burnley 0.
Liverpool 3,
the
Burnley 0.
oldest squad here. Average, or one of the oldest squad. I don't think.
All right, I'm gonna go for a Liverpool or 2, Burnley 0. Next, let's move on to one of the most exciting matches of the weekend because it is two teams which you could call are the best of the rest because it is West Ham against Leicester City. Both of these teams are constantly competing for the for the top 6, even though they aren't a part of the Big 6. Both of them started their campaigns with impressive victories against Newcastle and Wolves, respectively, to great managers, to very good quality squads. I think this match is going to be a really, really interesting one. Any takeaways or any inputs for this match from y'all, starting with Hakum?
Um, I think West Ham have the upper hand
Yeah,
because because Mikhail Antonio has been playing well.
Mhm.
Benrahma has finally uh, got his Brentford form back,
Yeah,
and I see West Ham having the upper hand, but Leicester City are no less, and
yeah, yeah.
I don't think their win in game week 1 against Wolves was that impressive. It was just a 1-0 win. Um, and yeah, my takeaway is that West Ham have the upper hand.
Yeah, I do agree with the fact that West Ham have the upper hand going into the game. They actually completed a double over Leicester City last season. And yes, coming to predictions, I predict a goal filled match, as we very often see when it comes to West Ham and even Leicester City at times. I'm going to go for a 3-2 win for West Ham. Adit, what about you?
I'm going to go for a completely different prediction. I'm going to predict a 0-all.
All right, Hakum, what about you?
Very bold. I'm gonna go with 4-3 a win for West Ham.
Right, then the next match is Nuno Espirito Santos's homecoming, as only in his second game as Tottenham manager, he has a trip to the Molineux to visit Wolves, his former team. Wolves, as we mentioned, were looking decent in their first game, but obviously did not get the result their way. They did create some good chances, but then again, Adma Traore was a bit wasteful. Raul Jimenez was not looking as clinical after his skull injury, only his first game back. Tottenham, on the other hand, completely opposite. Very impressive. Of course, there are many, you could say, narratives around this game that it's Nuno's homecoming. And how come, yes, what do you feel about the game?
I feel this is gonna be a boring game. I think Tottenham will try to hit Wolves on the counter, but they will fail to break them down. And I think Harry Kane is still out for the game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
If Harry Kane doesn't start, then Son will fail to link up. And look, I think Lucas Moura could do something, but for me, it's gonna be a boring game.
You mentioned that you do expect Tottenham to sit down a lot against a team like Wolves, which is not particularly known to dominate possession themselves, which leads me to a very interesting question for you all. Last season, one of the biggest criticisms of Jose Mourinho was being very inflexible with his tactics, particularly the one of hitting on the counter-attacks, even against the teams which you would generally expect a big six team to dominate possession against. So do you see Nuno Espirito Santo making the same mistake of just sticking to his system, or against the lower table teams? Do you think that he's going to rectify what Mourinho couldn't?
I think Nuno will do a great job and rectify Jose's mistake and really change the Tottenham side and complete the puzzle of winning trophies. I really have confidence in Nuno.
You sound like a Spurs fan there, Adit.
Oh,
No.
Is that a hint? Is
Are you
that
sure?
a hint?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe you're too embarrassed to reveal that you're a Spurs fan.
I think that'd be perfect.
No.
The reason why Adit is not telling his team of his preference to us right now is because maybe he's a Spurs fan, and no rival fan would actually say that Spurs can actually go on to win trophies right now, but Adit just did that. So yes, guys, that might just be a very, very big
If they bottle the UECL, I mean, that would be crazy. But yeah, I think they can win the UECL at least with the current squad.
Sure. Right then, moving on to the next match, it's Crystal Palace versus Brentford. in the first match, they did face the two London teams, Chelsea and Arsenal. Different results for Crystal Palace. First match for Patrick Vieira, not the most convincing match, but then, as Vieira said, you cannot be expecting a lot when you go to the bridge. Still got a lot to play for, still got a lot to look forward to, with many new faces arriving uh, at Crystal Palace this season. How come as you mentioned in the last video, you're a Brentford enthusiast? So could you just give us a preview for this match then?
I think Brentford is gonna come away with the win. I hope so. It's gonna be a tough match for Brentford. They're just a newly promoted team, and they in their first match day it was easy for them because they faced the weakest team in the Premier League. I'm not joking, and yeah, this is gonna be a tough match for them. But I see them coming away with a hard-fought win.
Score predictions,
And
real quick.
I think it's going to be a 1-0 win for Brentford with Ivan Toney on the score sheet.
Adit, score predictions.
I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw with Ivan Toney and Zaha.
I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Crystal Palace. Okay, let's move on. We've completed many of the matches, only a few to go. I think we'll just rush past these. Aston Villa, Newcastle. Not much to talk about. Very surprisingly, Villa not having the perfect start to the season as many hoped for. Looking at the new signings, might be an indicator that the new faces at Villa Park would require a few more time to settle in. Would also like to mention that they weren't at their best 11. They had the likes of, some of the better players on the bench with Leon Bay, Oli Watkins injured. So, yes, not too much to worry for Villa. Newcastle, on the other hand, they were impressive as well, but could not get the win. Hakam, what do you feel about the match and your score predictions, followed by Adit?
I feel Newcastle is gonna come away with the win. They're gonna there's gonna be an upset, and I see Alan Sain Maxima impressing. I love to watch him play, and I just can't stress on how beautiful he is to watch. And he's gonna get on the score sheet, and Newcastle will come away with an upset.
Yeah, Aditya, score predictions.
Speaking of Leon Bailey, what an assist. He had quite a few actions of dribbling last match, but I think Aston Villa will win easily against Newcastle. 2-0 is my score prediction.
All right, 2-0. Moving on to Ellen Road, it's Leeds United versus Everton. Actually, happy news for the Whites fans as star striker Patrick Bamford spends his deal to new contract. So good news for Leeds United fans just before the match. Not so in their first match day. A very disappointing defeat in the hands of Manchester United. Everton, on the other hand, first match under Rafa Benitez, a 3-1 win over the Saints. Positive signs, especially going ahead. 3 very good goals, though they did look a little shaky while defending. My personal views on this match is going to be that it's going to be a goal-filled match because, firstly, it has Leeds United. Whenever there is Leeds, there are goals involved. I think that could also be the nature of Everton's season. I see an imbalance in their defensive line when it comes to compared by their attack. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw between Leeds United and Everton. Adit, what do you feel about this match?
Never underestimate. Bielsa is an absolutely great manager, and I think he'll get a win against Everton. Benitez is Everton. A 2-win win for me.
Hakam, what about you?
I think Leeds will come away with an easy win. I don't think Everton is that impressive. And
All right.
yeah, I think Leeds will come away with a 2-0 win.
Right. Hakam predicts that Leeds will come with a 2-0 win. I just have to check if we have covered all of the games. Brighton and Watford, I don't know if there's a lot to talk about it. Brighton, first match of the season. Let me just check. I think it was a 2-1 win against
A
Burnley.
2-1 win against
Yeah,
Burnley.
yeah. Watford, very surprisingly, though many did not predict them to do so well, they came up with a positive result against Aston Villa. I personally haven't seen that match. I can't comment a lot on this one because I haven't seen Watford since a year or so. Brighton, the standard team, they play some good football at times, but they lack finishing at times and a solid defense, you could say. Not the basic Brighton shit every time. I'm just going to go for a very basic result over here, a 1-0 win for Brighton.
I think Watford will win this match easily as they have won against Aston Villa. I think they have the confidence to win against Brighton too. I think Watford will win 2-0 against Brighton.
How come, what about you?
I think Brighton will win by 1.5 xg, and they will and it will be a 0-0 draw.
We see what you did over there. Okay, with that, we have covered all the 10 Premier League games. Just very quick, your Premier League player of the week prediction, if that is something. Who do you think will shine this week? Something that Bruno Pogba did last week.
I think it's gonna be Kai Havertz.
All right, Adit, what about you?
I think it's going to be Bruno again.
Adit thinks it's gonna be Bruno again. I'm gonna go for who do I go for? I think I'm going to go for Timo Werner. Yes, I think with the fact that Lukaku might start, I do see Timo and Lukaku being Chelsea's long-term strike partnership rather than Havertz and Lukaku. And there was this recent incident in which a Chelsea fan told Timo to get out of the club in an open training session. I think he is a fighter. He will really bounce back from that incident. I predict Timo Werner to be, this player of the week. Anyway, with that, we
He
come
also
to
plays a lot of Fortnite, as he said in an interview.
Yeah, very fun guy
The
off the
internet.
pitch. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, with that, yeah, we come to the end of the video, or this comeback video, as he has mentioned that if we hit 500 subscribers, he will reveal his favorite team. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Yes, keep listening to the Football Parliament podcast. We will also post a match week 2 review after the fixtures are done. So until next time, it's me, Palash Modi, signing off.